Welcome to a chilly morning here at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. We're here to test this 2004 ex-Freisinger team Porsche 996 GT3 RSR. Now, just 37 proper RSRs came out of the factory in period, and this is one of those. But of the 37, only 3 were works cars that had some hidden demon tweaks to make them a little bit lighter, a little bit stiffer, and therefore just that little bit faster. In 1999, Porsche scored a debut GT class win at Le Mans with the very first iteration of the 996 racer, known as the GT3R. Now, this car, of course, evolved over the following years, first to the RS iteration of 2001, and then finally to this, the ultimate RSR specification of 2004. Now, this is a late model 996 RSR, so it features the larger 3.8 litre flat-six engine and a push-pull sequential gearbox with mechanical auto blip for seamless downshifts. Stripped to the bone, the carbon composite body panels contribute to a lithe total weight of about 1,150 kilograms. Not bad, with nearly 500 brake horsepower produced by that glorious flat-six engine. Stopping power is provided by Brembo steel vented brake discs, and grip, of course, provided by Michelin Racing slicks.
Number 85 in the GT class.
Delivered new to the works-backed Freisinger Motorsports team in 2004 for a program including the Le Mans 24 Hours and a full season of the FIA GT Championship. By year's end, this chassis had taken 3 podiums, including a stunning second place in class and 4th overall finish at the prestigious Spa 24 Hours in the hands of Alexei Vasily and Porsche factory drivers Timo Bernhardt and Jörg Bergmeister. Having contributed to yet another championship title for Manfred Freisinger's highly decorated squad, the car then went on to claim even more silverware over the following years in the Spanish GT Championship.
Right, 2004 Porsche 996 RSR. Let's see what it's like. I love the undulations of the Red Bull Ring, the beautiful scenery, fabulous circuit. Oh, the gearbox is just so intuitive. You don't need to use the clutch on the upshift, just a gentle lift off the gas. And then on the downshift, just use the clutch. No need to heel and toe with your feet because the mechanical auto blip system does a lovely job of rev matching for you. My right foot can't help it. It's so hard to not twist my right foot and execute a blip on the downshift. 20 plus years of habit. Oh, the brake pedal is such a lovely feel. Not too hard, not too long and soft. Just got a good modulation to it, nice and progressive. The rear is just planted. That's the thing I'm most surprised by. Turning into these sides of corners, fully loaded on the nose and heavy trail braking. Rear is super happy. Listen to that! Lightning fast upshifts, just preloading the lever before I release the throttle momentarily, and then punch and release, punch and release, punch and release on the way down the box. Much harder on the brakes that time. A little bit of rear oversteer on the way in. Just gonna hug the apex a little longer. Fire out earlier, use more exit rumble. Dampers are beautiful. Just keep your foot nailed over those exit curbs. The car's really commanding my attention. Right, let's concentrate now. That's it. There we go. That feels somewhat representative. I forget how much fun they are actually, and when I say they, I mean GT cars in general, but particularly all of the Porsche 911 GTs from the basically the earlier mid-noughties. And this is just fantastic. I've never driven a late model 996 RSR before, certainly not with a sequential gearbox, certainly not with the auto blip on downshift that's actuated just by your press of the gear lever. And it's fantastic. It completely transforms the driving experience because suddenly you can concentrate with your right foot exclusively on maximizing the huge braking capacity and way more braking performance available than it first appears, and smash the pedal. But then it's very important when you start pushing the brake point that your modulation of that pressure, your brake bleed as you start to turn the steering wheel in to the corner, that has to be perfect. Which of course, if you're distracted by twisting your right foot over to heel and toe on the throttle, is compromising the accuracy of that brake modulation, that brake bleed. But with this, you don't have that concern. You've got to rewire your brain a bit not to execute a little blip from the side of your foot when you are downshifting. But once you've switched modes and just keep your right foot buried in that center pedal, concentrate on the bleed of pressure, you can brake so much later and trail the brake into the apex so much more accurately with much more weight forward on the nose, which gives you a pin-sharp front-end response and eliminates all understeer. The trick, of course, is trusting the rear because, of course, the engine is back there and logic says you're going to trigger a huge pendulum. But for reasons that
honestly defy physics, reasons that make no logical sense to me. That pendulum just doesn't arrive, it doesn't happen. So every lap, every corner, particularly in the tighter corners, the hairpins, I'm having to just tell my brain that keep the brake pressure high, turn the steering wheel anyway, the rear's gonna stick, the rear's gonna stick. And you know what? It does. It's absolutely fantastic.
Right, I've had a chance just to allow the adrenaline to calm down and have a cup of tea and gather my thoughts. And my conclusion is this: if you happen to be racing in other older periods of historic racing, older grids, and perhaps you've never experienced slicks or wings, aerodynamics and so on, and you fancy having a go, you fancy trying this sort of younger endurance legends generation of race cars, then this kind of a thing is exactly what you should be looking at, because it's just so accommodating and friendly with a very broad operating window for the less experienced amateur racing driver. But there is this whole hidden other exciting level of performance available to those with a lot more experience, who are quicker drivers that are excited to be fighting for outright pole positions and wins and so on. If you're one of those drivers, let alone if you're a professional, then what I just learned is that this is a two-tier car. There's two levels of performance. You've got the big wide sort of from driving at 6/10 to let's say 8 or 9/10 even for the less experienced guys, but then getting to 10/10, wow, you've really got to bring your A game. But man alive, is it fun trying to find out just what the car can do when you carry that little bit of extra speed. You brake a bit later, you execute your brake bleed a bit more precisely. Suddenly you position the car in such a way that you get dramatically more grip, and that is as challenging as it is rewarding, and I certainly felt like I was only just knocking on the door of that level of performance and grip from the car. But I loved it because you feel like it's teasing you, provoking you every single lap, saying no, come on, you didn't quite nail it, you've got to do better next time. And to me, that's what it's all about. It's a great challenge, and it's really great fun.